We are the anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. Founded in 1994 by teacher Rodney Wilson, LGBTQ+ History Month celebrates queer achievements, promotes education, and persists amid political challenges. We learn about the history of LGBTQ History Month.
Wilton Manors ArtWalk returns October 18th, showcasing local art, live demos, and community creativity across galleries and outdoor venues.
Florida DOP crews removed Miami Beach's Rainbow Crosswalk, sparking outrage from LGBTQ residents and the Miami Beach City Commissioner.
London's iconic GAY bar closes after decades as a queer haven, reflecting rising venue losses and the struggle to preserve LGBTQ spaces. What might it say about the future of your favorite gay bar?
A new study shows Florida has nearly 97,000 same-sex couples, second only to California, but a lower density, just 11.34 couples per 1,000 households. That's just 1% compared to straight couples. Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ daily news television show, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
Analytics company vidIQ has certified the Queer News Tonight YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. In 2025, our queer stories have reached 11 million streaming views, and Queer News Tonight has been the most watched LGBTQ news and lifestyle show in the world this year.
We are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida.
We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in the LGBTQ community. There is no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
It is Monday, October 6th. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we will tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ evening news show.
Hotspots Happening Out is one of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media companies in America, in the same model as PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ community.
We support the 11 pillars of our LGBTQ community and want to inform and educate on the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture.
Our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ experience. Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 11,000 LGBTQ streaming stories. We present South Florida's major LGBTQ events, including Pride Fort Lauderdale, Stonewall Pride, and Pride Fete. Our nonprofit 501c3 magazine, events, television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
In 2025, more than 100 community leaders will host this show to support the LGBTQ community. Let's meet tonight's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome anchor Gregg Shapiro, an inductee into the Chicago LGBT Hall of Fame. Gregg is an entertainment journalist whose celebrity interviews and reviews run in a variety of regional LGBTQ publications and websites. Gregg Shapiro, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here. And this entertainment journalist interviewed Randy Rainbow today.
Ooh.
More to come.
That's amazing. So tell me, he's always fun to watch for viewers. We've done a lot of clips on him about what he's done. He does all these great songs. What's one thing that you could give us about him that you learned? He's
so unbelievably smart. He's just, if you watch his stuff, you know how smart he is. The lyrics, he's incredibly talented and just a really smart and down-to-earth guy.
He's one, I did not know how to say Kamala Harris's name right until he did that Camelot parody of it.
Thank you, Randy.
Awesome. Let's welcome Kevin Lee. He's a 3-time #1 best-selling author, transformational speaker, and intuitive life coach. This native Texan is on a mission to help you find life purpose, spiritual fulfillment, and true happiness. Kevin Lee, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much. Good to be here.
Wonderful. Let's welcome anchor Jason Núñez. Jason Núñez is a trailblazing leader, passionate entrepreneur, and fierce advocate for equality. He is president and CEO of the Greater Fort Lauderdale LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce, and as a third-generation minority Air Force veteran, he has served at the Pentagon, White House, State Department, and Department of Labor. Jason Núñez, the Greater Fort Lauderdale LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce's casino-themed networking night to spark connections is on October 21st. Tell me, what's happening out?
Absolutely. The Greater Fort Lauderdale LGBT Chamber of Commerce will host its lively casino-themed networking event on Tuesday, October 21st from 5:30 to 9 p.m. at 600 Northeast 21st Court, sponsored by the Our Fund Foundation. This evening will bring together professionals from across the Greater Fort Lauderdale LGBT business community. Tickets will cost $25, which will include a $20 in casino play credits to get guests started at the tables. As participants play, they will be contributing to a cause. Proceeds will benefit 15 local chamber nonprofit members, including Lantera, Equality Florida, Lucky Lightyear Foundation, Save LGBT, the Pride Center, and the Yes Institute. The night will feature lively casino games, a show-stopping human slot machine, and networking opportunities supported by media partners out South Florida and hotspots happening out. Every bet placed will help strengthen and support the community's nonprofit organizations. For more details, visit GFLGLCC.org. So we're excited to bring our business community together with our nonprofit community. We know that it's been a hard year, and this is a fun and intuitive, exciting way to bring the community together, help support our nonprofits by enjoying a night of networking and playing and drinking and learning more in a human slot machine. So I'm really looking forward to this event. Thank you to all the nonprofits who have stepped up. Thank you to all the business sponsors who are sponsoring each of those tables. So it's really a fundraiser for our nonprofit chamber members, but also a fundraiser for the chamber. So it's a win-win-win all across the board.
You know, last week we mentioned this event, and I said, you know, it's interesting that the chamber is doing an event with queers and gambling, two things that used to be illegal in this country. Was that like a fun play on, like morality that you were going with, or was that just like a random coincidence?
It was a random coincidence. Yeah, it was, we were in Florida. It's fun. It's an easy way to kind of showcase our nonprofit. So one of the things that we're going to do as part of the event is you're going to get a passport when you arrive at the event, and you're going to go visit each of the nonprofits. That passport is going to be your ticket into the casino. So it's not just a, hey, let's show up, I'm going to go play. Learn about our community. Our community is in need, arts, culture, all of us with these funding cuts that are happening. We definitely need to amplify those and do some grassroots activism, and that's what this networking event is going to do.
Wonderful. Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at the Chamber's casino-themed networking night on October 21st.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, Alex Morash. Alex has served as editor-in-chief of Options Magazine, media director of the National LGBTQ Task Force, and press secretary for the Florida Democratic Party. Welcome, old chum, Alex chum. That combined Alex and welcome. Alex, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. We have so many great stories to discuss tonight, so many important stories, and I just can't wait for tomorrow, because I think tomorrow is the premiere of Season 2, Dragula Titans. So all of you can watch that with us when you're not watching Queer News Tonight, when it's on tomorrow at 8 p.m.
Watch.
Now, let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Alex Morash, and let's queer up gay culture. This LGBTQ plus History Month honors past while facing dramatic challenges. Every October, the United States celebrates LGBTQ plus History Month, a time to recognize the struggles, triumphs, and contributions of the queer community. What began in 1994 with the vision of a Missouri high school history teacher named Rodney Wilson has now become a vital part of the national conversation. Wilson, inspired by Women's History Month and Black History Month, believed LGBTQ history deserved its own spotlight. October was chosen because it falls during the school year, opening doors for education, while also honoring key milestones like the first LGBTQ marches on Washington in 1979 and 1987, and National Coming Out Day on October 11th. Support soon spread nationwide. Governors in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Oregon endorsed this month, and major organizations including GLAAD, the Human Rights Campaign, and the National Education Association signed on. By 1995, Newsweek was covering what was then known as Gay and Lesbian History Month. Today, LGBTQ+ History Month remains a celebration and a form of resistance. Wilson, speaking to The Advocate, said, quote, "In a season of unrelenting federal attacks on academic freedom, curricular independence, and LGBTQ people, it's vital that we resist the current of events in every way available, including by means of history/heritage months such as the LGBTQ+ History Month," end quote. He noted that federal crackdowns on DEI programs have shuttered some campus queer centers, but also pointed to signs of resilience, highlighting strong programming at Syracuse University, Georgetown, and Southern Illinois University. Wilson also celebrated community-driven efforts like Equality Forum's annual Icons Project, which now honors over 600 LGBTQ figures. This year's icons include Missouri's own rising star, Chappell Roan. From its origins and one teacher's vision to a national commemoration of LGBTQ+ History Month continues to shine a light on history even as today's political battles underscore its urgency. You know, I really enjoyed The Advocate interviewing Rick Wilson and doing this piece because, one, I enjoy LGBTQ History Month partly to bring up all the troublemakers of the queer community, but also, like, I don't know the most about its history of the History Month. It's nice to know it was picked in October because it is a school year month, and it's not September when kids are still getting into school. They don't even know where the bathroom is or how to get a hall pass, so they actually can focus on it in October. And it is a scary time to talk about LGBTQ history in some ways in this country. There's so much going on, and where we go as a community should be discussed this month. Where we've been, where we are, and where we're going is such an important topic that we don't discuss enough of.
I mean, imagine him trying to get that started in 2025. I mean, boy, I'm glad he did it when he did. But let me just say, if I had a history teacher in high school that looked like that, I would have been an A student.
I would want detention. I want detention with that teacher. You know what I like about this story? Because this week when I was doing a little research on this, on really LGBTQ+ History Month, and this person who was willing to stand up at a time when we just needed more recognition in the world. He stood up. One person stood up to make a difference. And I think that speaks a lot to the fact that every single person out there has an opportunity to show up in the world in a way that makes a difference. Rainbow recognition is important. And I think it's just as important as, I can't count this quick, but all those years ago when one person stood up and threw a brick at police being discriminatory and began where we are today. So I really value what this gentleman did for us.
Well, you know, it's always wonderful, and for those that are learning about LGBTQ History Month, my best piece of advice for you is many different people will have many views on what happened at a particular queer point in history, and that's half the fun.
Now, let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Gregg Shapiro, and let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Wilton Manors ArtWalk returns for the season with spooky launch. The vibrant Wilton Manors ArtWalk is back, and it's kicking off the new season with a festive, spooky launch Saturday, October 18th from 6 to 9 p.m. ArtWalk, running monthly from October through May, transforms the streets of Wilton Manors into an open-air gallery, inviting the community to stroll, shop, cruise, and celebrate creativity. Visitors can expect a mix of the arts, crafts, and live demonstrations across multiple vendor and gallery locations. Highlights include Claudia Castillo Art Studio, this month's sponsored gallery, along with stops at Ink Addiction, Side of Chic Optique, and Art Frenzy galleries. Vendors will also be set up at 6th Avenue Park, Castelli Real Estate, and The Well, Indelible Art Plus Tattoo. Dixie Village on Dixie Highway will feature a lively stretch of displays between Northeast 23rd Drive and Northeast 24th Street. The ArtWalk is a cultural heartbeat of Wilton Manors, uniting residents, visitors, and LGBTQ creatives in a shared celebration of expression. Attendees can register at awwm.org for the entire season. With its October start, this year's launch promises fun alongside artistic inspiration, making it the perfect kickoff to fall in one of South Florida's most colorful and inclusive cities. Well, at the risk of having my gay card temporarily revoked, I must admit that Halloween spookiness is my least favorite October holiday. However, the October launch of the Wilton Manors ArtWalk is just the diversion I need, and I'm sure we all need. So it's always fun. You run into your friends. Sometimes you trip them as they're walking, and that's good. It's really fun.
I sometimes run into Greg when I'm walking around on the drive. No, I think this is going to be a wonderful time. And, for those that are wondering, why is it only October through May? For those non-Floridians, it's too hot, June, July, August. Okay, it's just too hot. So I'm glad that it's at this time of year. It looks super fun. Some of the stuff's going to be next to Chic, which is a coffee shop right next door for the non-alcoholic types, or for the non-alcohol drinkers, I should say. And then the Well has a whole great cocktail selection as well. So there's so much to do. It should be an amazing time.
I love the ArtWalk. I love that, every fall it comes back, and I like getting out in the community. What I like about the ArtWalk is just the creativity, the heart of the people, these artists, these creators that are they're just outpouring their heart into the community, and we get to go out, we get to be a part of that, we get to mix and mingle, people watch, people shop, window shop, and I just like how it's so heart focused, and I think the community needs a little more kindness, and that's what it feels to me like it brings.
Yeah, I think October brings back and welcomes all of our snowbirds back down to Florida. And from the chamber perspective, a lot of my business, a lot of my members look forward to this season because it's no longer the down season. It's no longer off season. And I love to see my businesses thrive. So the ArtWalk provides an opportunity to walk by, Claudia's studio, walk by Tops and Bottoms, walk by Chic Up Tea, walk by Hunters, but also walk by To the Moon, pick up some candy, a store that may or may not have been there. There's a few restaurants new on the drive. It forces people out in a way that shines all of Wilton Manors and all of our community and amplifies our artistic, cultural representatives that are in this ArtWalk.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Kevin Lee. Let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Florida officials tear up South Beach Rainbow Crosswalk amid LGBTQ outcry. The stories of pride disappeared from Ocean Drive Sunday evening as crews from the Florida Department of Transportation began tearing up Miami Beach's iconic Rainbow Crosswalk. This is a symbol long celebrated by the LGBTQ plus community. Shortly after 6 p.m., the Miami Herald observed workers using an excavator and sledgehammer to actually remove the vibrant pavers at 12th Street and Ocean Drive, just steps from Twist, one of South Beach's most famous gay bars. A crowd quickly gathered, beachgoers, residents, and drag performers watching in disbelief as the colors of the crosswalk vanished. The removal comes under FDOT's directive ordering cities like Miami Beach, Fort Lauderdale, and Key West to eliminate pavement art associated with social, political, and ideological messages, or risk losing state funding. Drag performer Cece Glitzer was getting ready for a show at Palace Bar and Restaurant along with Akasha O'Hara Lords and Teepee Lords when they heard about the crosswalk. Cece Glitzer said, "It's very emotional to see that our people and our pride is getting erased just like that. It's very painful." Together, these queens protested the action, chanting, "Miami Beach forever proud." City Commissioner Alex Fernandez condemned the unannounced action, saying, "Why waste so many resources, so much tax dollars to remove something that is safe, that is beautiful, that is iconic, that is embraced by everyone?" On Facebook, Fernandez wrote that FDOT's ruling runs contrary to the fact that our Rainbow Crosswalk has proven to be among the safest on Ocean Drive and called it heartbreaking for the city that is a symbol of diversity, inclusion, and equity. Local residents called the removal appalling. As the dust settled, community members vowed to repaint the rainbow. You know, it's really interesting because I haven't been here that many years in Florida, but what I do know is that this story really kind of brought up the fact that Miami Beach is known for being very gay inclusive. I've been to many events, and many shows, many bars, many businesses in the area, and I just appreciate that I feel safe walking in the streets. But if I was walking on the street this day, I would not feel safe. I would feel under attack. I would feel less than important in the world, less than valued. And I think it's truly a travesty. You know, when we enter the state of Florida from what I call civilization, and we see that beautiful sign, "Welcome to Florida," I think they need to change it to "Welcome to totalitarianism, heteronormative narratives that are willing to erase your identity if you contradict their political views." And really, that's what's happening with DeSatan and FDOT. Did I say that? I meant DeSantis. And we really have a right to shine.
Absolutely. I think the leaders in South Beach would be wise to follow the example of Key West, because in Key West is installing these sort of arches so that it's not on the street, which is the purview of the state or whatever. Something that goes overhead instead of
option.
And I think it's nice. A rainbow overhead, like a rainbow arch, I think would be kind of a nice thing.
Kevin, I think the mention of authoritarianism is a great thought. 'Cause, you know, something I remember that this has all been reminding me of is when I was in high school, there was a school police officer. I know, don't get any weird ideas, people. And he used to say he went to the Soviet Union once and it looked so gray. And while I would say that the Soviet Union probably looks more colorful than people would say, but at the same time, like, I feel like we're getting that view of the quote unquote sunshine state is going to get so gray. And I mean that, like, because they're not just taking away rainbows that are like, they've also taken away like the Daytona 500 checkers have been removed, non-rainbow artwork. And this is a beautiful Art Deco.
Good point.
I wouldn't even say this is a true rainbow. This is more of a beautiful, colorful Art Deco piece that they just rip up as if it's allegedly, like, they're just turning the sunshine state into the gray state. This is awful. And the only other thing, two other things I'll say is, I'm glad that there were people there that were saying to the workers, shame. And I do mean that, because some people say, well, should you say that? Like, yes, you're choosing that particular job. If you're in construction, there are other construction jobs in Florida. There are tons of them. You can go do something else. But also, you know, the Miami Beach commissioners, I feel for them, but at the same time, not that long ago, they were considering censoring the free speech of a theater.
Yes.
And now I hope they understand with the shoe on the other foot that suppressing free speech is never a good idea. And I hope that Miami Beach is able to recover from this.
Great point.
Yeah, it all, I've said this before, and, you know, the impact of removing that crosswalk is not just on our emotions and our feels and our identity. The impact of tourism in South Florida and Miami Beach is they're going to take a hit. Hotels.
They already are.
People stay longer because they feel safe, they feel comfortable, they feel relatable. Restaurants that are very close to that crosswalk, Twist, that was just steps away. That's where people want to spend most of their time, take pictures, and literally travel to Miami Beach to take pictures, to be present, because they know they are seen, they're heard, they're valued. And removing that $15 billion in the state of Florida in 2024 on tourism dollars. Let's see how much of that they get in 2026, 2025 moving forward as an impact to this.
But the governor must know the financial impact, doesn't he? Isn't he aware of the financial impact of any of this? Or do
authoritarians really care?
Okay. What a silly question.
I won't name any 1930s German politicians, but I don't think they really looked at the budget numbers, sadly. And it's because it creates fear, and that harming businesses does help create fear in a totalitarian regime. And like, it's the businesses are being hurt not just by this, but the way that we've been scaring people, not just queer people, immigrants in Florida, Duval, they're seeing their landlords are seeing tenants leave, their income, they're collapsing because so many people are moving. Not all of them are being deported. Some of them are just going to Spain and Italy because, like, we don't want to deal with this.
Well, and Canadians are selling property because they don't want to come back.
They're afraid, like, I don't blame them. It's getting scary to cross the border. They never know if they could be targeted. It's, you know, this is just part of a larger system of just fear and horrible stuff that I just think it's clouding the sunshine state.
And just to say a quick point in closing, really, is just that when I've traveled outside the United States in the last 6 months, to different countries. What I'm noticing is that a lot of people, when they find out I'm from the United States, they say we purposely did not choose to travel to your country. One, because we're not going to give our money to a country that is doing that to our kind. But also they say that we don't feel safe coming to your country now because we don't know what the hell is going to happen to us. And we may not even be able to go back to our country in a way that doesn't financially injure us, or, you know, you get locked up because of some reason and then you're going to have to pay to buy more, another flight home. It's financial injury.
It's
So
getting
people aren't
very
traveling.
scary. A cousin of mine, she just got engaged. She wants to go do a wedding in Italy. And I'm like, I'm afraid coming back in if they're going to mess with me. You know, it's a scary time.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Jason Núñez, and let's queer up drag culture. Drag Race stars Mourn closure of London's beloved GAY bar, end of an era for queer London. One of London's most iconic LGBTQ spaces is closing its doors for good. GAY bar, a cornerstone of queer nightlife on Old Compton Street, is shutting down, marking what many are calling the end of an era for the city's queer community. The venue's owner, Jeremy Joseph, who also runs the legendary nightclub Heaven, announced the news on social media saying, quote, "Time to say goodbye to GAY bar," end quote, lamenting that Old Compton Street had lost that LGBTQ identity. He said, quote, "When I opened GAY bar, it was to be on one of the safest and most proudly LGBT streets, a place where you can be who you are and feel safe," end quote. He also recalled leading protest, watching Madonna perform, and joining the vigil after the Pulse Orlando tragedy in 2016. Joseph explained that the closure followed a rent review for Heaven nightclub. Though the review ended favorably, he said it forced him to focus resources there. He thanked supporters and vowed to make Heaven a second home for queer people. The announcement sparked an outpouring of love from the drag community. RuPaul's Drag Race star Peppermint wrote, quote, "Here's to another chapter together, my love. Thank you so much for everything you've done for our community," end quote. And Drag Race UK's Kyron Thrack said, quote, "My love, I'm so sorry. Proud of you for how you've handled all of this," end quote. The closure follows GAY Late's shutdown in 2023 and mirrors a wider trending of disappearing queer spaces in London. Yet, new venues like The Divine have emerged, and activists continue fighting to preserve historic bars like the Black Cap and the Joiner's Arms. For now, fans are mourning the loss of a bar that for decades provided safety, joy, and belonging to countless LGBTQ+ people. An enduring reminder of the importance of queer spaces, even as the city changes around them. You know, it's interesting that it's global. You know, we're looking local. We're looking at torn up sidewalks. We're looking at closing bars. You know, what's the fate of Twist? What's the fate of Hunters? What's the fate of Wilton Drive? Like, when this starts hitting home, we'll start realizing, but truly, it's now more than ever, we need those queer spaces. It doesn't have to be a bar with alcohol. It can be an art studio. It can be a real estate office. It can be a chamber office. It can be the LGBTQ visitor center. Queer spaces are needed now more than ever. And it's super sad to see this global icon taken away, the GAY bar. I don't want to think what's next for us, especially as we hone in on Fort Lauderdale, Wilton Manors, you know.
But we are seeing it, you know, we're seeing, you know, traditionally the history is that gay people move into sort of rundown neighborhoods, they fix them up, it becomes the gay neighborhood, and there's an entertainment district, and then the double wide strollers start appearing on the sidewalks, and the jog strollers, and and it's like, that's part of the problem, is that we're making neighborhoods safer for everybody. So it is a history. We are seeing that. The secret is finding a way to keep those places, like I'm thinking, obviously Wilton Drive, I'm thinking of North Halsted in Chicago. I mean, we saw it in DC, DuPont Circle.
Yes.
It's not the gay mecca it used to be. It moved to another neighborhood. So it's happening all over.
I don't know, like sometimes we're not necessarily making it safer, sometimes we're just making it whiter so rich white people are more comfortable. But like often we're accused of being gentrifiers and like we're not. Like when you actually look at our income, like we're just trying to go a place where we can survive. Like the people who are like, oh, can just buy that whole building and not bat an eye because it's a cool new hip place. That would be a gentrifier.
Yes.
But, on gay bars, it's hard because it's hard to compare what's going on in the U.S. to England. But England oddly has weird rent and housing and property issue that similarly mirror the United States. You can blame Thatcher. You can almost always blame Thatcher for something.
Yeah.
But it's hard seeing where queer bars are because also people forget gay bar owners tend to not have the same wealth that people that open a straight bar have. The people that open up some big venue in Miami that is gigantic, those people come from the sort of wealth and the funding and all these investors, where someone is trying to open a little gay bar or a mid-sized gay bar, it's a lot harder for them to do that. So it's a struggle, and I appreciate those that keep trying to do it. But I also am not surprised that the owner of gay bar had multiple locations. A lot of owners have multiples, and it really depends on what makes sense to keep all of them, to end one because it's not doing so well and it's doing better, and then start another one later. Like DC, the owners of town, one of their bars is called Number 9 because it's the 9th establishment they have, and they're going to open something new later. So you never know for sure what's going to happen.
Well, and social media probably also plays a part because guys are finding other ways to meet instead of going to a bar. So there's also that.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Just saying.
I'm just saying.
I read that somewhere.
Yeah, but Twitter's yet to make me a good cocktail. Now, let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Alex Morash, and let's queer up the USA view. Florida ranks second nationwide in total same-sex couples, but lower in density. A snapshot of the 2020 census by the Williams Institute finds that there are over 1.1 million same-sex couples living together across the United States. 57% are married and 22% are raising their own children. When it comes to love density, Delaware leads with 12.61 same-sex couples per 1,000 households, followed by Oregon and Vermont, then Nevada, Hawaii, Massachusetts, California, Washington, New Mexico, and finally at number 10, Florida. California tops the total number of couples with over 162,000 couples, followed by Florida with nearly 97,000 couples in total. However, the density of same-sex couples in Florida is low, with just 11.34 same-sex couples for every 1,000 households. That's just 1% compared to hetero couples. Now, I will say I love the Williams Institute's research. I cite them in different things for years. Same-sex couples does not equal necessarily gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender people, because not everyone's in a same-sex relationship. So just because we don't have quite as much density does not mean we don't have a ton of queers in this state. I walk around, and not just Wilton, Manors. And there are lots of people where I'm like, you a friend of Dorothy, honey, But I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, I'm not shocked that the Sunshine State is full of rainbows and gayness. What are your thoughts?
Well, as one half of a same-gender couple here in South Florida, I mean, all of our friends are couples. It's I know very few sorry to the non-couple people, but I know very few of those. So maybe I'm not seeing it, or I'm not sure. But
wait, is everyone here a same-sex household? Couple. Okay, all four of us. All right, yeah.
I'm really offended you didn't mention Texas in that list, because I'm from Texas. With all the, growing up, I was taught that the only thing there are steers and queers. So there should be representation for my state, but the only representation my state can bring at this time, actually of 2024, based on safehome.org, is that it was the number one registry for sex pedophiles. 75,000 listed for my great state of Texas. That's only 10% of the nationwide average. Amazing. And this is a very, let's just say, red state. And I think it's very interesting because it's very pro-family, and I think it's very Christian-oriented, and it's very white politically oriented. And I think it just speaks volumes that we also know from research that 85% of pedophiles are heterosexual. So very interesting that they are trying to deflect issues in Texas towards the rainbow community when they need to be worried about their football coaches patting the butts of their children.
Exactly. And, you know, speaking of just the couples alone in Florida being the individuals, that's almost 200,000 people.
Yeah.
It maybe even more, because some people, they say they're a couple, but there might be a third or a fourth.
It's true.
And,
Oh,
you
that's
know,
true. Yes.
but
That's
like,
the new thing. It's progressive.
seriously, from like a voting perspective, with someone who has to look through the old voter rolls and figure out like how do you get to a win number in the state, 200,000 people is an important demographic. You sway them one way or the other. You're going to win certain elections. You're going to win or lose certain counties in this state. I wish elected officials would remember that Florida has a lot of us and that we do sway elections with that.
But I'm surprised, like a city such as Austin or Dallas or Houston. Those are the three that I would think would have the kind of gay populations that would register on these lists.
Well, they do, but it's so outnumbered, especially in Texas. So in Austin, you know, we joke, we say it's Austin is a little blue dot in the middle of a big red state, and it literally is at the heart of the state. And we have great, amazing communities, businesses in Austin, in San Antonio, Dallas, Houston, the major cities, but still it's just not enough to compete with what they're up against. And so their voice, the light of those communities are truly outshined, I hate to say that, by other political, social, religious communities.
Yeah, Austin has been hit hard. Remember the weather power outages a few years ago? My little brother, he left Austin. He moved out of the state because of that. It was he's a straight boy, but like still, you know, like I know queers like their electricity. How are we going to watch our like drag race?
Right.
And how are we going to have air conditioning?
I need my hair dryer.
Yeah.
I need the air conditioner.
In LGBTQ 1 Minute News, let's queer up South Florida and Florida. FLoatarama You Fund Awards to shine in Wilton Manors on October 23rd. Get ready for a celebration and purpose. On Thursday, October 23rd at 6 p.m., Hunter's Nightclub in Wilton Manors will host the 2025 FLoatarama You Funds Awards Party, presented in partnership with Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. Your host, Alex Miranda from WSVN's Deco Drive will welcome guests to an evening of entertainment featuring the Hard Rock Dancers and the fabulous TP Lords. Entry is free, but RSVP is required. FLoatarama, a South Florida nonprofit, has already granted over $250,000 to LGBTQ youth programs. Visit FLoatarama.org for details. And that to me just sounds like one of those wonderful, good, positive stories for the day.
Who doesn't love boys in bikinis? Love that.
And October is packed with these kinds of events. So
It is. And I'm super proud of this event because all Hunter's Nightclub, the Hard Rock Casino, and FLoatarama are all chamber members. Scott, Rod, I see you.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News, let's queer up gay culture. Ujima Men's Collective Living in the Light Conference 2025 begins on October 24th. The Ujima Men's Collective invites Black, gay, bisexual, and same-gender loving men to its Living in the Light Conference 2025 from October 24th through the 26th at the Gallery 1 Doubletree Hotel in Fort Lauderdale. Registration opens at 9 a.m. The weekend features plenaries, workshops, and the elegant Noir Diamond Awards Affair. The conference concludes on Sunday, October 26th with a brunch and reflection session for spiritual enlightenment. What have we learned? More details are available at ujimamen.net. Celebrate unity, empowerment, and light this October. Man, October. My dance card is filling up very quickly, but this one sounds like a good one.
It does. I like the fact that it's focusing on some spirituality, mind, body, and spirit. We're more than our bodies. And I like to see people of color, communities of color, different communities really stepping in, embracing more than just going out to party, and but working on themselves. I love that.
It's wonderful because I see this event, and I remember a few weeks ago we were discussing there was a Black trans women's empowerment events in Miami, and like there's so much queer stuff happening in South Florida, and it's more multiracial than so many other parts of the country when it comes to queer representation.
Yep. LGBTQ 1 Minute News, let's queer up gay culture. Gay men share the emotional toll of hookups with straight identifying partners. A new expose from GQ explores the emotional cost for gay men who hook up with straight identifying men. while studies including one published in Sexualities and research by Tony Silva and Jane Ward show that many straight men engage in same-sex encounters, GQ shifts the focus to gay men involved. One gay man described his relationship with a straight identifying man as crushing, explaining his partner eventually retreated to his heteronormative lifestyle. Others shared similar experiences of secrecy and heartbreak. The takeaway? Emotional involvement with straight identifying men often ends painfully. Yep, it does. Though, as GQ notes, casual encounters can be another story. Interesting how I just saw myself in that story. So I will say that I had a long-time relationship with someone who was in a marriage to a woman, and that ended on that side. It came to this side, and then it didn't last forever, unfortunately. But I can definitely feel the heartache. I get it, and yeah.
Well, I always have to say to young twinks out there, you can't change him. It's perfectly okay to play with him, but like when you're playing with certain fish, you have to put them back in the pond when you're done.
Well, sorry, in my book, which is actually a stone tablet, straight men who engage in same-gender encounters are gay. Gay, gay, gay.
I just love the emotional involvement and retreated back to heteronormative lifestyle. Are they a hermit crab? What's going on? They retreated after being crushed. It was just, yeah, you're gay.
So, the last thing out there on this, Greg, is I differ. I think there's nothing gay about two men just enjoying a mutual fun time touching each other.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up gay culture. Henry Cavill's shirtless photo sparks viral frenzy among queer fans. Actor Henry Cavill has once again set the internet ablaze after posting shirtless photos while undergoing physical therapy for an on-set injury. The Superman and Witcher star, currently filming the reboot of Highlander, shared the steamy snaps that quickly went viral. One fan commented, quote, "The hairy chest is everything," end quote, as others flooded social media with admiration and playful thirst. Isn't that what we're all doing right now? Wait, can you put those images back on? Playful thirst. Comment. Yes, we're so excited to see Superman on the screen. Any movie that Henry Cavill's in, I'm down. And just hairy chest, playful thirst, I'm done.
Sorry, I was dreaming about Alexander Skarsgård.
Well, I, for one, am happy to see a hairy-chested Henry Cavill where his mustache is not CGI'd out like it was in the Justice League. Yeah, I know, to ruin it for you, because now that I say it and you now watch the Justice League, it will mess with you, but a shirtless Henry Cavill is always a good thing. We need more of it.
Well, I need more Witcher, because I'm definitely a Witcher fan, so you can exercise me anytime, just saying.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News, let's queer up gay culture. Is Alexander Skarsgård gay? His film festival comments spark speculation. At the Zurich Film Festival, actor Alexander Skarsgård set off a wave of online speculation after candid remarks about his past relationships. Promoting his new film, Pillion, about a gay biker romance, Skarsgård said, quote, "I found that in this case, it's not really relevant what my background is. I mean, I do have a kid, but what I've done in the past, who I've been with, men, women, to me, what was important was that this felt like an opportunity to tell a story about a subculture I hadn't seen portrayed this way, with so much authenticity," end quote. Fans quickly seized on this mention of men, women, wondering if he was hinting at bisexuality. Skarsgård also said he had, quote, "a little bit of experience from that world," end quote, adding fuel to the fire. Well, you all know me, viewers. Whenever we're talking about Alexander Skarsgård, I always enjoy him naked, and I have no cares if he's been with men, women, horses, I don't care. He's just beautiful.
Yeah, we'll take him. I mean, I will personally hand deliver the toaster myself.
Well, I always love a good Alexander Skarsgård, with or without his toaster. And don't forget, if you have not seen him naked, you can see that on True Blood in the last season. Those are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight. These anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ community.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines.
We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world. This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor, Alex Morash, and on behalf of these LGBTQ reporters, the anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Gregg Shapiro, Kevin Lee, and Jason Núñez, we will see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ world, we hope you will join us by embracing love, generosity, bravery, and be transformative and queer. Good night.